Well, I think looking at all of the current events and the news this past week, one would say it's time for us to have, if you wouldn't mind, an adult conversation about sex, gender, race, you name it. We need to have a lot of adult conversations on all of these subjects. How about we start now? Now, I guess the week started out with one word: no. When the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith was asked, can same-sex unions be blessed? It was a one-word answer that came back, and the Pope signed off on it: no. And that just opened up a volcano of feelings and a volcano of reaction. Pro, con, in the middle, upset. It threw everything wide open. And if the CDF foolishly thought that just saying no would be the end of the issue, they just don't know us New Yorkers, do they? That's just the beginning of a much longer conversation. Saying no to people who are in love with each other is the most futile thing you can do in the world, because love always finds a way. And as I said on social media earlier this week, I have been blessed by so many couples, married and unmarried, straight and gay and lesbian and all in between, who have blessed me in my life by their witness, by their self-giving, and by who they are. The Pope is very clear. Everyone is loved by God. God loves his LGBTQ kids as much as any other kids. Just don't bring home your loved one to me or Mother Church. We're just not ready for that right now. It seemed to be what Pope Francis was saying this week. And it only leads to confusion, only leads to worry. And to say as a church that those who are not able to be in a heterosexual sacramental marriage must observe mandatory celibacy, we know after a year of lockdowns with COVID-19, that isn't an answer that's going to work either. How little we know, how much to discover, what cosmic forces flow from lover to lover. How little we understand which touches off that tingle, that sudden explosion when two tingles intermingle. Parents, close the ears of your kids.
A lot of people called me this week because the Vatican wrote a letter to gay and lesbian people telling them that we could not bless their weddings, their marriages, and a lot of people were very hurt by that. And it's very, very sad, because I think I know that what we try to do is to love everyone, and so we're struggling with that as well. But I think at the heart of all this, and I think that what the scriptures tell us today is something that those images that you can really hold in your heart. That once you give love away, it becomes really love, whatever relationship you're in.
During this past week from the Vatican, a document came out that caused great pain among our LGBTQ group here at the Paulist Center, and many beyond that group, feeling the harsh words and accusations of sin cut to their heart and betrayed them in their own self-acceptance. And this Wednesday, we had a every other week prayer service, as we do, led by our LGBTQ ministry here at the Paulist Center. And afterwards, we had a listening session, which was very, very moving. As one person said, I've come for years, and I know I'm welcome at the Paulist Center. But still, the tears were in her eyes. The tears were in his eyes. The pain was palpable there. and they learned love in suffering.
It has been a painful week for LGBT Catholics. The Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith issued a statement forbidding the blessing of civil gay unions, a statement directed against the German Catholic Church, where this issue is scheduled to be part of their national church synod. The language employed, while reiterating current teaching, intimated that these unions for LGBT people, their deepest, most powerful expressions of love, are of necessity sinful. Now, I do not know what was in the mind of the CDF, but I do know that you cannot, with any psychological coherence, say that the most loving relationships in people's lives, relationships that yield the fruits of the corporal and spiritual works of mercy, the fruits of the Beatitudes, are of necessity sinful, while at the same time saying that you welcome with affection LGBT people within the community of the church. Many bishops in Belgium and Germany, whose task and competence it is to respond to statements from the CDF, this week expressed regret, dismay, disappointment, even shame at the statement, emphasizing that the blessing of same-sex couples will not end with that statement. Bishop Georg Batzinger of Limburg, the chairman of the German Bishops' Conference, stated, and I quote, "This creates the impression of somebody wanting to shut down the theological discourse, which is happening in several parts of the universal church, including Germany. But that is not possible at all, because the discussion is being led intensely and with many good arguments. The theological demands on today's pastoral practice cannot be eliminated with one statement of authority." Close quote.